Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, manene, nani manene gazi.
Yeah.
I don't know how do you say that in Sutu. But welcome to Mogul Makings. With your host, Musa.
Yeah.
We've got Tulu. And of course, well, myself, Cam. And this is us, you know?
Yeah.
We are Mogul Makings. And you might be asking yourself, what is Mogul Makings? Bro, what would you say? Like, in your opinion, what would you call Mogul Makings? What is Mogul Makings about?
It's a story.
It's a story.
It's a story.
Yeah.
Everything retracts into a story.
Yeah.
This is the documentary. Like, we're documenting the journey.
Yes.
Yeah. Journey of becoming a mogul,
right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like
I like that. Yeah.
the moment I fit into your circle, which is not really a full circle, it's more like an arch or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Just you and him, and I got to know you two guys, right? I know his family, but I didn't know him prior.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you guys share the same surname.
Yes.
So that's interesting. Right?
Yeah.
You guys share the same surname. So where's the relation there again?
By the way, I met him, right, at a business seminar.
Yeah.
Right? He was hosting this thing, right? I just arrived, and the moment I get into the parking, right, I just come out, I see a guy who's wearing the same jacket as me.
Same jacket.
Yeah, same outfit.
Same jacket. Like, what are the odds?
White t-shirt, same jacket, right?
Whoa.
And I just talked to him.
That wasn't those type of jackets where you can just say, it's black.
Yes.
It's one of those that stood out. Like,
I had to
That's a statement.
I had to go to Stanton to get that thing, Yeah.
It's one of those that stood out.
Absolutely. Right.
Whoa. Yeah.
And I think afterwards we had a conversation, right, about what he's reading, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm reading the same shit.
No way.
How come?
No
Are you reading
way.
that? Right? And from that day we started to click, and we just had too many encounters, which just kind of just reassured that man, we're in each other's destiny. Let's just
blood like blood, eh? Like when blood
To an
is thick
extent,
like that,
yeah,
eh?
to an
Blood
extent.
is really thick like that. No, that's
But I think it goes beyond blood, Like since I met you guys, I
It's a
realized
mindset thing. It's a birds of the same feather thing.
flock
Yes.
together.
Yeah,
Yes.
Absolute.
Birds of the same feather thing. 'Cause like it's a tribe.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah.
It's a tribe.
It's like it is like that, isn't it? And then if you realize, like, a lot of people that have that kind of mindset, they like to associate themselves with people that share the same sentiments, or people that can either elevate them. But it's always like you said, birds of a feather.
Like I always tell people, if your circle isn't making you stronger, it's making you weaker. There's no middle grounds. You don't just hang out with people just because you think you guys are just hanging out. They're either making you stronger or they're making you weaker. You understand?
True.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so it's for me. It draws the line. It draws the line. Yeah.
I think what I discovered about hanging out with you two is that you're so confident in despite everything, you've never complained. We can complain about the economy and all of that, but you're really confident about where you guys are going, right? And you have this confidence in yourselves. You're not really discouraged by the journey and its pitfalls, right? So I like that about you guys, right? The worst thing, when it comes to friendship, right? What I don't want is, people who give up on things, I feel like I'm one person who's really encouraged. I need stilts every now and then, right? So when I have really, smart dudes that I see really pursue everything that...
Don't inflate our heads here. My head will pop.
By the way,
my head will pop.
I wouldn't just say that, by the way, right? I don't give out compliments like that, but I was really reaffirmed of how smart this guy is, especially you as well, right? you go into places where
I feel my head is I feel heavy. I feel heavy.
What I want to tell you guys is that you don't have any imposter syndrome, right?
Yeah.
You go into places where a lot of black folk are really afraid to go into. You guys go into the rabbit hole, right? I've seen the markets you guys want to penetrate, and especially
I've seen
your
the
work
market,
history.
I've seen the market that you're penetrating.
Yeah.
Fintech. I want us to talk about that.
Yeah.
You guys are talking about a bank as well.
So Kula's doing big things, bro.
Yeah, you know what happened for me to get into
and
Fintech.
I saw that it's complete now.
It is complete. You know, I'm really
what you working on, bro?
Just waiting on the investors. But what's going on is I had this little journey that I took right in Joburg one time. Bumped into a guy called Iniolua Aboyeji, Nigerian guy, right? Iniolua Aboyeji, you know, if you Google him, you'll find that, you know, he's been associated with the Mark Zuckerberg Foundation and all of that stuff. But prior to that, he started a payment gateway kind of thing for Africans, right? Africa and all of that. And it couldn't penetrate the whole Southern African market, right? Because of bureaucracy and all of that, right?
But was it big in Nigeria though?
He's a Nigerian guy.
Was it
right?
big there, or is he based here and he was doing his thing?
What he was doing here was he was doing learnerships, right? More like CETA accredited learnerships at the Saibono Discovery Center in Newtown, Johannesburg, right?
Yeah.
So I met this guy, you know, we had a little talk together. He tried to offer me a job, right? I was like, you know what? I just want to enroll my little brother into his academy, right? But at the same time, I didn't know who the hell he was, right? And finally, I did my research. I found out this guy. He just recently started a fintech company, right? Well, I wasn't jumping on his train, right? What happened is
we're all inspired by somebody.
Yes. I saw his journey ended somewhere, right? Which is Northern Africa and like majority of Northern Africa, right? But when it came to bureaucracy here in South Africa, he couldn't penetrate the market, right?
I see.
Because we have like regulations on regulations for fintech.
Maybe you can break it down for people who don't really know what fintech is.
Fintech is in everything finance, right? But with technology, you know, appended. We have
digital banking,
neo-banking is what they call it, right? Yeah. Digital banking is taking over. I mean, if I can just give you a little quick statistic, right? For every 1,000 unbanked in the United States, right? There are about 100 banks servicing them, right? 100 banks, right?
In the whole of Africa.
And that's banking.
And banking is a privilege in Africa. I mean, if you think about M-Pesa, right?
Yeah.
M-Pesa outdid every bank in Kenya, right? M-Pesa just started out as just a mobile service, telecommunication services, right? So what's happening with banks now is that they're going into telecoms, right? And that's why it's so hard for even Flutterwave and all of these guys to come into South Africa. ICASA, right? ICASA
regulators, bro.
Regulating everything. Yes.
Trying to keep the ninjas out.
Yeah, you need a license for everything, you know. FSCA. If you go to Nigeria, all I needed was to talk to the Reserve Bank of Nigeria. You know, they give me a fintech certificate. You know,
then you're set up.
I'm set up. I'm a bank in Nigeria. I can start issuing, you know, loans instead as well, and a whole lot of other things, right? So in South Africa, if you want to start issuing out loans, you have to go through the regulations, financial service provider, you know,
But in terms
credit
of like
service
now,
provider,
but like infrastructure wise, like it's easier that side to open up a bank. But how is their infrastructure in relation to South Africa, which is the country with the most, you know, with all of these regulations, barriers to entry?
In 2009, South Africa was the leading fintech, right? African country, right? after 2009, right, Nigeria started waking up, Kenya started waking up.
M-Pesa's from Kenya, ne?
M-Pesa's from Kenya.
Mukuru?
Right? Mukuru is South Africa.
I'm so curious about Mukuru, actually. Like,
Mukuru, the nice thing about, they're just doing remittances, right? Yeah. But these remittances, it just kind of evolved also. I've been looking at their value proposition now. They have, what is this? Physical cards, right? And they have virtual cards and things like that. But Mukuru users haven't really caught on to that yet, right? They're still using the USSD, go to the Mukuru outlet to do all that. Mine was to kind of try and eliminate the whole, the need to actually, go to every, when you want to change currency, you don't really have to go to Western Union or anything like that, or go to maybe one of my outlets, right? So you have virtual cards that are and even physical cards, right? So if you order a physical card, yes, we can get you.
You can just transfer money into that.
Yes, it's Visa, MasterCard, because we have BRN sponsorship, right? It allows us to have like SWIFT codes and be accessible internationally to other banks, right? So that when you want to do transfers, so it's kind of it was a journey for me, man. I really wanted to really figure this out, and put myself in the challenge, right? Yeah. Because I think what the biggest icebreaker for us kind of entrepreneurs is meeting someone who's just like you, right? Yeah. So I met a dude who's just like me, right? And I'm like, oh, well, he's conquering Northern Africa, right?
You could conquer,
Yeah, and he's doing very well, right, in that space. Why not try to do something that he's doing, right? But try to augment it a little bit, try to, because you have your own experiences. I mean, your experiences, they count for a lot. Trust me.
That's so interesting what you're saying. Like, have you realized, especially like talking about tech and everything, and you look at tech and then you just look at the business as a whole. Everything seems to be so customized for the user experience.
Yes.
So the better you can offer the best user experience in whatever category it is, the more you have, the more you're able to. Monopolize. You can monopolize a market. The more you can have a niche. So it's actually so interesting, especially what you're saying right now. Like, and don't you think, like, in terms of like opportunity, it's all about offering the best user experience. Whatever
and there's already a market, but imagine he's saying the stats are 100 to 10, 100 to 1,000.
You know where I saw the market recently?
Here it's like 20 to 1,000. Or how?
Look at that! Like, there's still opportunity there.
There's a lot.
Why are we not trying to make more banks?
Yeah.
You don't know
there's something interesting about that. Actually,
why aren't we going into banking? Firstly, because we have 5 major banks, right? I'll tell you what's happening here in South Africa. The monopoly is stiff, right? But it's not stiff enough for you to not be able to enter, right? The market is so huge, the unbanked, right? And again, I was looking at Time Bank, as a case study. Time Bank itself, initially I wasn't impressed with what they had to offer, right? I was just looking at Time Bank. I thought, all right, it's owned by a Mogul. Mutsepe owns 90%.
Mogul.
Petrus Mutsepe. Yes.
90%.
He owns like 90% of Time Bank.
That is a proper Mogul right there.
But I don't think he put a lot of money into Time Bank, right? I feel like he had a lot of outside venture capital that was really willing to come into Africa, because a lot of these guys are coming. They want to come into Africa. They need a political fixer to an extent, right? They realize, it's very the regulation for us, Southern Africa, is crazy, right? The company that I'm working with, I'll just disclose them. Union 54, right? They're just a group of lawyers who are just doing bureaucracy work for investors who want to come in and do financial things, right? and they give them BIN sponsorship. You know, BIN sponsorship, if you're a wealth manager or you have a lot of money and you really need to take care of somebody's wealth, right? Yeah. To an extent, you might need to treat him like a microbank or something like that, and you need BIN sponsorship so that when you do fund transfers, there is no latency, right, in between, right? So these guys are facilitating that kind of stuff and they're doing that kind of work, and I realized, you know, there's a market for everybody, right? Time Bank, they're just servicing people who really have been for the longest time unbanked, but they're consumers, right? And they're doing shopping, right? So it's the quickest way to start banking, right? You just go to Pick and Pay, you get a card, you do all that. Great value proposition, right? They're gonna make money. They're gonna beat a lot of with the 5 major banks that we have, the big 5. Time Bank is really gonna outshine them, right? Another prospect is, you know, that whole idea of giving a shovel to the guys who are digging gold, right? Because I mean everybody's out looking for gold, right? Why not give them tools, right? So the guys that are giving everybody tools to go dig for gold,
are they these guys at Union?
Yes,
Union 50.
They're giving you tools, right? They're like, oh, you need a BIN sponsorship, you want to go dig for gold? Okay, we'll give you that, right? You want an API, you're a developer, you whatever, you know, software developer, they hook you up, right? So, I mean, that kind of thing, it's really lucrative, right?
Wow.
And people should actually be on the lookout for Tolo's
Thank you, man.
Flo
Thank
Dorsey,
you.
bro.
Oh, absolutely.
Have you settled on the name yet?
Flo Dorsey.
Flo Dorsey.
Flo Dorsey.
Yeah.
Flo Dorsey. I like it. It's smooth.
Flo
Dorsey. I like it.
Flo is my grandmother.
Is it?
Oh, okay. So it's named after your grandmother.
Yeah, my grandmother.
Nice, man.
What does the Dorsey part mean?
Dorsey, I have twins.
You have twins?
Yeah, they call them the Dorsey twins. I was like,
that's
nice. That's nice. I'm looking forward to Flo Dorsey opening its doors and trading.
Yes.
And
we have a lot of. I mean, that's not the only thing I'm working on. I mean, we're working on quite a lot of things.
We are, aren't we?
Yes, and I'm working on something with him, right? And it's really.
I want you guys to jump into that.
It's in education, but obviously I have an NDA with him. I'm not really supposed to disclose everything about it.
Maybe he can disclose.
Maybe he can disclose. What can we give out? Look, we're basically just like Phil said. It's something that's in the education space. It's specifically designed to better the lives of students, and to also make it easier as well for teachers and the school governing body to be able to just make the whole learner, teacher, parent relationship a lot smoother.
Is it something like a communication?
It has telecommunications in it. It's like a school management platform with telecommunications. It's like on steroids. It's been
beast, bro.
It's about beast. But no, we're very excited. We're very excited.
You guys next show?
We
soon.
Yes. Let's just put it there.
You guys are
soon.
That's soon. Too much.
Be on the lookout. You will definitely know about it. I mean, everybody's gonna know about it.
Well, the schools know about it pretty much. A few of the schools know about it. They've been working closely with us every now and then, right? It's gonna be great.
We're looking forward to it. Absolutely. Absolutely. But enough about us. We're not the only ones that are working on stuff. Here we've got an investor. We've got a real estate mogul here. We've got
mogul in the making.
We got a mogul in the making, right?
This guy came to town. I think I remember when he arrived, right?
Yeah.
Real estate wasn't that much of a market, right? It was a monopoly. Everybody had it. You know, it was like 1 or 2 companies, I think. Right, this is the first guy who really shook things up. Right, I would see him, the township market. First of all, nobody was in that.
Yeah.
Nobody was selling houses in the township.
Yeah.
This guy was like, okay, 4x4. Moses, you know? Let's hit him.
He just went in.
He just went in.
And I really like he was very aggressive about it too.
He did.
You had to know that, listen, this guy is here and is here to stay. And I think I like that attitude that you had, bro, especially with regards to, I mean, obviously there's competition in that space. There's a lot of competition.
There's a lot.
So much competition that I feel a little bit of an animosity, right? As a new player towards you, you're like, oh yeah, this guy is just out here, you know, changing the market, right? And obviously the old players are a little bit entitled, you know.
They feel entitled.
They feel entitled business.
True say. It's actually quite interesting what you're saying right now. Is that you know, have you realized that as soon as there's a new business that competes with another, there's that unshakiness.
Yes.
There's that. But then again, that's how business is. Like I don't understand. Like,
but for me, I'm like that as well. I don't like competition. Like,
you don't, right?
I don't.
You want to own the whole value chain.
Like, to be honest.
Like,
if you're a true capitalist, you wouldn't like competition.
Like
if there's 10 people that are buying the same thing, if I'm the only one, I get profits from 10 people. Now, if there's 2 of us, I have to share. Imagine, you see.
But how does competition stretch you though? Like competition, as much as
to be honest, me, I don't like competition. I don't even think it's healthy because I know ninjas in the same industry that I'm in that came into the industry healthy guys. Now they have high blood pressure.
Oh yes. I mean,
they understand stress.
The whole thing of driving past your competition to see how business is, right? It kind of just, you know, it's unnecessary.
And you know what it does, ne? It makes you somebody who's. It makes you somebody who's out there, because I've seen it. So I'm not a real estate agent anymore, because that industry's packed with competitors. And people are like. People lose who they are,
of course,
because they're chasing the bag. Understand? There's more to real estate than just being an agent.
Scrambling for crumbs.
Understand? My thing is eliminate competition. Even if you have to collaborate, or even if you have, hence my new company. Hence the new thing that I'm doing now, M&As. Swallow up your competitors or merge with them or.
Give out the tools. Don't
you understand?
When you're that guy,
collaborate. Work together. Don't like.
You're right. Let's pull each other up.
Why can't we have businesses and then still be good people?
I mean,
that's my thing.
There's plenty of fish in the sea. You know? And if you want to really get a bigger market, just pivot yourself. You know, pivot yourself. Don't try to change the other person, or don't really have any animosity towards some other whatever that other guy is doing. Pivot what you're doing, right? Be appealing to a whole different market, right?
I think that's quite interesting. I mean, take a look at. Especially when you look about like doing like collaboration and stuff like that, and I think it's Jay-Z's brand. I think it's his cognac. That was acquired by LVMH, or they bought a stake.
They bought a stake, 50%.
LVMH bought a stake. You know. And some people, well, we got another.
By the way, we have Sweet and Short. This is DJ Finzo's gin brand.
Hopefully we have him sit on
we're the first couches to ever have this, right? He's a short guy. You know him, DJ Finzo, the DJ, right? Amazing guy.
He's an amazing guy.
Of course, we've had weird encounters with him. A bit of a chip on his shoulder, but it's really good. He's cool.
We should have him on the couch.
He's smooth.
We should have him.
Shout out to DJ Finzo.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to DJ Finzo.
I don't know how long we have. We need to get into investments and stuff like that, because I think there's when I was here the other time, Kulu was telling me about, but then he didn't go deep into it. He'll probably do that now. He said that he does some investment in the stock market. And he was telling me why he stays away from Apple stocks.
Okay, I'm staying away from Apple stocks, right? I'm staying away from Apple stocks. maybe you shouldn't listen to me, but this is my prior history. Like I have
just a disclaimer.
Yeah, just a disclaimer.
We're not giving
I'm not giving you financial advice.
Financial advice. You shouldn't even listen to what we're saying, but you should.
I don't know if you
do listen.
Do listen to saying,
do listen at your own risk.
But it's not financial advice.
It's not
just on the record.
We don't want to be getting lawyers letters.
After what happened with Bitcoin, you always have to.
We have to
give out a disclaimer.
We don't want trouble.
Everybody.
We just want to make money.
Some people didn't even buy Bitcoin. They bought some other Bitcoin, like some mirror Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about Apple stocks, right?
Yeah. Why you stay away from them?
I'm staying away from that, right? I had this job one time, right? This is like, early 20s. You get a job and it's in the thing that you're doing, that you're studying, right? And I found out that the company I was working with was a Microsoft partner, right? So in depth, Microsoft has a lot of partners that are, business, they're doing micro business for Microsoft, right? They're doing like managing the manufacturing.
They're basically handling the dirty work.
Absolutely. They're dealing with the factories because the dirty work has implications, right? Because obviously Congo is where all the mining is taking place for the coltan and the cobalt and all of that, right? And whatever factory, once you disclose which factory that you're using, right? That's why none of the major companies want to disclose their factories. They'd rather leave it to you, the individual, and you deal with all that bullshit, right? And if ever journalists come after somebody, they should come to you, right? So you become an OEM partner. You're the original equipment manufacturer. You're doing all of that for them, and then ultimately, you got blood on your hands, so to speak, right? Because of the illegal mining and the rebels and child mining, right? So Congo recently changed the regulations on export of minerals, right? So now there's no 747s flying into Congo and taking out minerals and right, just doing a back and forth on minerals, right? So
they basically strict on their regulations.
They put a stopcock on it, right? Yeah. And now what's happening is Apple subscriptions, right? If Apple was to mine coltan and cobalt in the United States, in the Grand Canyon, right? Because that's where you would find it, right? If they were to mine there, right, your iPhone would cost over 100,000, 200,000
per phone.
Right? Yeah, per phone, right? But now, since they're mining in Congo, it's on the surface. They don't really have to go that deep, right?
So the input costs are very low.
They're very low. So now the problem is Congo's changed regulation, and the moment that happened, Apple came out with what? A $50 trillion valuation, right? I just saw that out like publicity stunt. Publicity stunt. They want you to buy stocks to save their butts, right? So a lot of people just went in like, okay, that's what Warren Buffett was saying. When people get greedy, go the other way, right? So everybody was going for $50 trillion valuation. Let's go buy the stocks, man. And they all bought the stocks. They're still buying stocks. And now Apple came out with what?
The
subscription model, right? And that subscription model, right, it just lets you know that they can't afford to sell an iPhone anymore, right? You have to pay subscription for the iPhone. You don't really own it. So I don't know if that's gonna work. Maybe it might work.
Don't you think maybe it's their way of, like, because I know, like, even in my space now in acquisitions, if I could get a company that has maybe subscribers, if I could buy a company with subscribers, already that's where the money is. Because you have repeatable customers, unlike always having to go and find a customer coming back, and then having like the what do you call this thing? The customer lifetime value. The amount of time you put into acquiring a new customer, it charges into profits as well. So if you have already people that you have one person that's on a subscription model, maybe for them it's a way of saving their asses too.
But I'm looking at the competition. The competition is like they also realize that Apple is in danger, right? Apple has to come up with something strategic, right? And also Apple is doing better than Google with subscriptions, man, right? It's doing better than Google Music. In terms of sales, right?
Yeah.
Whereas logically thinking about it, right, it should be the other way around, right? Because this one you really have to pay for it. But what I kind of realized is that Apple has a good way of pivoting their business model.
That's the thing.
It could be a good idea to buy Apple stocks, but I'm just not really willing to risk it
for the long term.
Yeah, for the long term. Yeah.
So what stocks are you into now?
Oh man, I'm buying a lot of stocks, man. You know? Yeah, I'm buying.
Which ones would you say are?
I'd say.
What in your humble opinion?
Oh man, my humble opinion.
Stocks again,
right? I figured, I'm also a little bit disappointed at the moment with South African companies, oil companies. In a sense, I figured, with the whole idea of hedging, buying large volumes of oil prior, right, to something like the war, because of the war and all of that stuff, right? I figured, if I buy these stocks, right, these guys are gonna. It's anticipated that they're gonna do bad, right? But
because of their reserves.
Yes, they have reserves. But if, right, the war just boils over, before their reserves are out and before they actually, run out of strategy, right? Then your investment was good, right? So it's all dependent on these guys. But
Sasol now.
Sasol, in South Africa, Sasol. Sasol is but they came out with that whole story, the saga, that they didn't do enough hedging, right? And they realized it, man. They did a blunder, I don't know who's the CEO, but that's what I would have thought about initially if I would have.
When you're talking about the CEO, I'm thinking about one of Warren Buffett's quotes. He says, I'm just plasticizing it here. I'm not.
Plasticizing.
He says, when you invest in a company, invest in a company whose systems and models are so good
that even an idiot can will be able to run it. Yes.
So because eventually one will.
Because think about it, right? Apple right now is just a machine that's running itself, right?
Systems, bro.
Absolutely.
Systems thinking.
Yes.
Yeah, systems thinking.
There are plenty of dumb things they're coming up with, but they don't really override the foundation of what Apple is all about, right? That's what's keeping it running. Apple should have been dead a long time ago, right?
For me, the thing that makes sense is to invest for cash flow.
Yes.
Not necessarily capital gains.
Yeah.
So that's why I tend to stay away from the stock market. I want to invest in something that I know month end it yields, or maybe today it yields.
Yes.
I know there was a payment that's done today. I know that it's going directly into the bank account that I can control. So that's for me, to be honest, real estate. I've sold majority of my positions because I just feel like businesses are the way to go. Because real estate, if you have a fixed asset that's there, you're kind of fixed to what you can make of it. But a business, like, you can have a subscription model in a business, and you can make one product that services like a lot of people. You understand? So you can have a subscription based business. It's one thing, but a lot of people can subscribe. That means profits for the business.
And one of the businesses you're acquiring, right? I was so excited about that decision, right? Because I was a subscriber too, and for the longest time, it wasn't that I wanted to be a subscriber, but I really, my kids were in the crash that he's buying, right? And it was hella expensive for me, right? And I was like, man, but this is the only good one. They have to, they have to go to it, right? So
cash flow.
Cash flow. Coming back to also like systems as well.
Like if you have a crash with let's say 80 kids, all of them are paying 1.5. That's like 120 something a month.
A month.
You get it. You get it.
You know, I mean, especially the value of property is based on the commercial activity that happens. So you can buy property, but what's happening?
Why don't you just go
how many
for commercial?
Right.
Pay rent, but get the profits from the business.
Yes.
You understand? Because control, as long as you have the lease on a property, control is just as good as ownership. Right. You understand? So a lot of people think, I want to own. No. Even if I have the lease on it, the lease binds the owner. Hier gaat verkoop. It's a law. The lease tops everything. So control is just as good as ownership. As long as that entity that's on that premise is yielding cash flow and money, I'm happy.
Yes.
Do you have like an ideal like what would you like to get your hands on? Like if you were to get this one, that's it,
bruh.
You're off.
Right now, I don't have like an ideal business because I don't tend to fall in love with those. My ideal thing is I have an ideal cash flow target. What I actually want to get to monthly in cash flow. Okay. So I have a bunch of things that I'm setting up in place so that they get me to my target. Right. Because if I buy a business that's making 124,000 maybe a month, and it's like a 20% business, that's like maybe 20,000 something that's coming in. Or let's say it's 104,000. I'm playing around with the numbers here. You understand? If I have 24,000, I know that, okay, that's cash flow coming in. Now I'm going out, I'm acquiring maybe, let's say a taxi. I know that taxi yields me 15,000 a month that's coming in. I'm building like that. I'm building, because cash flow kills businesses. If you don't have cash coming in regularly, you don't even have time to focus on the big picture. Because you're always hand to mouth. You're always thinking, what's my next move that I can put money in there? If I could just build and get to this, my ideal thing is that from then, I'm just going to be going back to commercial real estate. I'm just going to be going back and buying up apartment buildings because I think that's where long-term investments are. Look, you make your money in businesses, you keep it in property.
Okay. Nice. Speaking
I
of which,
was always worried about my property investments. I was like, oh man,
they don't yield that much.
To an extent,
But an apartment building, then
apartment building,
that's a different story.
Medium to large. We're talking about 80 units and above.
There's like a property that's actually being auctioned, and it's got apartments. And the bottom floor has businesses that are occupying the space. I just saw now that actually our time is almost up. We got load shedding tonight. So unfortunately we couldn't get into everything. But but that, I guess. Are we good? Are we still good?
You have a generator.
I have a generator, but then obviously we have to really. You heard the story of what happened at Joburg Theatre, right? The lights went out and everybody had to be there, wait for the generator to kick in for like 34 minutes. And the DJs were angry and all that. So, same situation.
All right.
But I feel like we've gotten somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some meaty stuff. I mean, look,
I know
first official. So,
you want to have a lot of these?
Oh, we're going to have a lot of these. Like, you know what? All we can say is stay tuned. We're going to have guests that are moguls in the making. Get some key insights from them. Get their journey. Find out what makes them tick. What kind of a mindset do you need to have to even reach those kind of levels? So trust you me, it's going to be a very great journey. Moguls in the making.
Mogul makings. I like it.